Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Justin with the Core Work Node, and this is going to be our rain tutorial number 4. We're getting a little bit out of the basics, but it's still pretty basic stuff. Um, if you follow along with 1, 2, and 3, then you'll know exactly where we're at. If not, you can reference 3 if you want to. It's not a big deal. You should be able to pick this up, pretty much. Uh, if you've not watched any of the other tutorials, because I'm going to explain what we've done and what's going on. Okay, let me try to move the mic here. All right, so if I go over to our behavior editor and open up our ghost behavior tree, you'll see pretty much where we left off is going to be our parallel. We named it start. Real quick, I'm just going to rename this patrol, and I'll tell you why in just a second. And we added a waypoint patrol node with move, and then obviously under our parallel we added animate, so he could do a waypoint patrol and move around and also animate at the same time. If you're unaware of what parallel is, you can simply just click on it and it'll tell you right here. Parallel pretty much is what it sounds like. It's going to perform 2 or more actions in parallel, so pretty much at the same exact time. Alright, so I'm going to pop over to our game real quick and press play for those who have not watched the other tutorials. And as you can see, our ghost pretty much just, not walks, but I guess hovers from node to node or waypoint to waypoint. That's great, and if you have a substantially large world, then you probably won't have to worry about this. You probably won't have every time the player ends up coming back to this zone, if they do, they'll see him in a different position. But what we're going to do is we're going to pretty much tell our ghost, hey, take a break, stop for a little bit, catch your breath, whatever it may be. So the first thing that we need to do is go back to our behavior editor and make sure that we have our ghost chosen for our behavior tree. We're going to right click, we're going to create, and we're going to create a new decision selector. And real quick, all that I'm going to do is I'm going to take our patrol node, the entire thing, and drop it under our selector. Real quick, I will explain what a selector is, even though all of Rain's decisions and actions and stuff like that pretty much has a good explanation to the right. But I'm going to explain it real quick anyways. It pretty much just execute child nodes until any node succeeds or all nodes fail. So pretty much what we can do is we can have 2 parallels with multiple actions under them and cause one to fail, i.e. a constraint or whatever it may be. In this case, we're going to use a timer. And pretty much just cause it to fail. The selector will see that, say, hey, something's failed. I need to jump over to this. Kind of like a fail safe, but that's a simple explanation of what's going on. All right, so with the selector highlighted, we're going to go ahead and create decisions parallel. And as you can see now, we have 2 parallels under our selector. So that means we have this one and that one. Pretty much, we need to cause one of them to fail for the other one to run, and then if we want to switch back, we need to cause the other one to fail in order for the other one to run. Sound like deja vu, but that's essentially what we're going to be doing. So under this parallel, I'm going to create a timer, and I'm also going to create an animation. So I want my guy to animate, and then I'm going to run this timer. I'm just going to put the timer underneath this, under animate, but I'm going to change this timer to roughly 4 seconds. That's the time of our animation. Actually, I'll change that to 5 because it's a looping animation. And now we need to add a animation. So I'm going to pop over to my Ghost AI real quick. He only has 1 animation added, but that's not a problem. I can add another one. I guess I'll do idle hover. So it'll just kind of hover around. And I'll just put that for my animation over in the behavior editor or in the behavior tree. So that's all fine and dandy. I can press play, and this is going to fail. I already know this, but I'm going to show you guys real quick what's going on. If I go to my current AI, as you can see, it's run. The selector is running the first one, obviously first. But there's nothing over here is telling this to fail anytime. So the selector is never going to jump over and switch over to this one. As you can see, our ghost is going to keep moving. And it's never going to play our idle animation. So the simplest way to do this is, let me jump back to my timer real quick and make sure that I send a failure after 5 seconds of running. I'm going to jump back over to my patrol parallel and create actions timer. I'm going to change this to 15 seconds. That sounds about right. That gives me 20-second loop. 15 here, 5 there. And I'm going to send a failure on this one as well. So now I go ahead and press play. I'll drag my behavior editor over here. And as you can see right now, the timer is running. So after 15 seconds, it should send a failure, which it just did, to my selector, saying, hey, patrol failed. Let's animate for a little bit. It happened kind of fast because I've only got it set on 5 seconds for the taking a break. I guess you could set that. You could set the time whatever you wanted to, but I'm setting it fast. Obviously, you don't want to wait a minute. As you can see, he's just kind of sitting there idling. You know, you may want him to turn around, maybe face the player. Who knows what you want to do, depending on your game. But let me go ahead and stop this real quick. Bring this window back up and explain it just a little bit more. What has happened to my UI here? There we go. I don't know what's going on. I think it's because I'm recording or something, but whatever. All right. So I know I kind of did that kind of fast. I'm trying to push 2 videos out today, and this is very simple. The next video, I'm going to explain custom actions after timers and stuff like that, or either I may do a targeting or sensors or visual aspects. I'm not really sure yet because there's so much to cover. But I hate that. I felt like I kind of trucked through that whole thing, so I'm going to explain it real quick. And you may not even need the explanation, but for those that do, here it is. All we did is we started off where we left off in the video. We had a parallel that was controlling a waypoint patrol, and the waypoint patrol was pretty much gathering the waypoint and naming it var waypoint, and our move action under that was pretty much just moving to that variable that we stored in the waypoint patrol. Parallel can run multiple things in parallel, back to back, next to each other, whatever. Animation, we obviously need running at the same time our characters are moving to give it some effect, i.e. walking or hovering or whatever in this case. Ghost is a really bad example for this complete series. I really wish I didn't start off with it, and I may switch up in the next couple videos, but for right now it's fine. But pretty much we're running animate the entire time our guy's moving. We need to animate. I added a new thing here. It's called a timer. If you have any coding experience whatsoever, you know timers pretty much save developer lives. They are really essential. Time is essential in programming. So the way the timer works is it's going to count 15 seconds. We can send success or failure. I chose to send a failure. Our selector picks up on that failure and then pops down to our other parallel. In the meantime, it idles. I just chose a hover, idle, or whatever, just to sit back, take a break, and we have another timer. So we set it for 5 seconds and we send a failure. So that means every 15 seconds, our guy's going to patrol. I could set this to 20. That seems better because it was way too short. And then we got 5 seconds of break time. So our guy is going to float around, walk around, patrol what he needs to patrol for 20 seconds. While he's doing that, it's pretty much the timer saying it's running, it's good, no problem, whatever. And after 20 seconds, it's going to send a failure to the selector, as you see right here. So let me pause it. What's happened right here is the timer pretty much said, failure. It returned a result. It's been 20 seconds. It's not a problem. It jumps, the selector automatically says, okay, well, this node has failed. I need to pop back over to the one that hasn't failed or not running, etc. And I need to do what it wants me to do. It's going to animate and then time. The timer is going to be running. Now, you may be asking yourself, if you're a little familiar with Rain or concepts of sending, breaks and stuff like that, hey, well, all right, that's great, but what about when the other one fails? Isn't this one going to stay failed? No, because the selector is going to pick back up on this one and run this one until it fails again. And that is just the beauty of Rain and timer. So as you can see right here, it pops back up, animation, and we're good to go. And I know why that happened. That's because I paused it. It's not a problem. You get all kinds of weird effects when you're trying to pause and explain something. But anyways, we got what we needed. So I hope this was some good information for you guys. The possibilities of this is really endless. You could imagine that you could create a waypoint network, which we are going to do. And then every so often we're going to, after a patrol route or whatever like that, we're going to break off and then go to a network and kind of walk around the world and stuff like that, or maybe get our guy interacting with some objects. The possibilities are just endless with Rain, and it's so much to explain. I hope that I'm doing a okay job at it. It's just, there's a lot here, and it's just awesome. It's an awesome tool. So with that being said, I'm Justin Gar with Core Worknode. Please subscribe, hit the like button, comment if you have any questions, comment if you want to see a Unity plugin or tool or whatever tested out or checked out or either explained a little bit. Just let us know so we can keep the videos coming, keep them free, and just keep having a great time making them. All right, guys.